On the show today, the CEO of Open Access Data Centers, Ayotunde Coker, believes that the outlook for data center building in Lagos is strong and is emerging as the next key mega hub outside South Africa. He also says that this year we'll see multiple megawatt hyperscale-ready data center launches. Africa will need more than 700 data centers in the long run to fully benefit from the growing segment and ensure its digital sovereignty. Ayotunde Coker joins me now to discuss the evolving landscape of Africa's digital infrastructure, as well as key trends, strategic considerations, and what this growth means for the broader technology ecosystem in Africa. Thank you so much for your time today. And it's good to see the optimism, coming from here on the data centers landscape here. I'd like you to speak to what's underpinning this and why this is important, especially for economic growth.
Well, you used the term. It's great to be here. Thank you very much. You used the term hyperscalers. These are these large companies that provide cloud services that we all consume here, but actually hosted elsewhere. Some are in South Africa, but you see, the further they are from the point of consumption, the less the performance because of latency of that distance, okay? And hyperscalers are to be the large companies like your Microsoft, Oracle, Google, Amazon, Alibaba Cloud, and the big global cloud providers. Now, they demand a certain type of scale of data center because of the sheer amount of compute they provide, right? And that's what I mean about the hyperscale data centers increasingly coming into Lagos. You have quite an amount of megawatts, but power is one measure of how large a data center is. So a 10 megawatt is a pretty large data center, okay? And you have the demand in that kind of scale of megawatts. So we have a few data centers that are in line. We are implementing over the next 12 to 18 months a 24 megawatt expansion of a 2 megawatt data center, large hyperscale data center, scale data center that we have here in Lagos. Other providers also have some of these data centers coming in. So people say, well, if you build them, will they come? Well, if you don't have the scale, they can't come. And all of the, the metrics and indicators in Lagos, for instance, are indicating that that's right. With the right facilities, those hyperscale providers will come. There are other things that you also have to have in place. Is the level of connectivity and interconnectivity that's available, because you have to get out to the users out there. And also energy. So there's three aspects that come together: having the energy available, the connectivity available, and having these scale data centers available. We have those scale data centers coming in, then we're ready to bring on the workload to Lagos.
It's one thing to look at this from the lens of the developments that we first need to put in place here to ensure that we can have an ecosystem of thriving data centers here. But then you also have to put into consideration the way the world is moving. We're seeing that huge switch to cloud. And that's definitely going to keep happening over time as technology continues to evolve. And it means that definitely we have to be future ready in terms of how we position ourselves globally. And also issues like data security and data sovereignty also mean that we definitely need to not to have most of our information out there.
Yes, I mean, we live in a global ecosystem of data. And you have to get the classifications of what you hold locally and what you're able not to hold locally and so on. And the efficiencies of having a compute near close to the point of use, okay? Now, there's an analogy I give. I call it this: Africa is a sachet economy. You see, a few people will buy, say, a pint of milk or a packet of some milk. Not many people do that. In Africa, they would buy a sachet. They earn today to spend for tomorrow. And that's why the mobile networks have done very well with the recharge process. Some people recharge in the morning for just the morning and earn money in the morning to recharge for the afternoon. Now, the way you transfer that analogy into cloud is that Cloud is a way of delivering technology to point of use where you consume as you need and you pay as you can afford and you pay as you grow. So you're now able to get technology just as now you have POSs in the hands of the market people and mobile telephony and all of that. They will start needing to use cloud technologies to manage their books, to manage their lives. You have people on TikTok, they run businesses on Instagram, and so on. All of this needs compute close to the point of use. And that's why we will see this increased consumption of cloud technologies. There's also a lot that has been said about AI. AI depends on cloud. It gets all of its data from the interconnected ecosystems of cloud information that's around there. You overlay that with the intelligence of AI, and there's lots of demand for that kind of use, which means that we need to bring cloud technology locally. Now, on data sovereignty, we see Lagos, for instance, being a hub around this area. Just like we have data centers in South Africa. South Africa is a significant hub. You see other hubs coming in East Africa. Now, the data sovereignty approach has to be such that other countries are able to host here and sort of vice versa. But there's also a trend of building out a Pan-Africa data sovereignty framework. Okay. So you can host anything in Africa and consume it anywhere in Africa. They do that in Europe, and we can do that in Africa as well.
It brings me to my next point, which is that of the issue of investment. Because if we really need to be scaled up, we need the funds to drive that. And I understand that your organization secured about $50 million to expand.
500 million.
500 million, to expand.
Part of that was a 50 million that we announced.
Yes. So help us put it in context, the full amount and, and how your footprint will look like in the next decade.
Okay. Yeah, so if you build a megawatt of data center, for instance, a general rule of thumb is it's about $10 million. Some would do it for 15, some for about 8, but it's easier to use 10 million as a number, right? So if you're building 10 megawatts, that's 100 million. And so that's a significant investment. And so you're also investing in the interconnectivity and technology that goes around that as well. Now, it's shown that for every 10%, this is used quite often, of a broadband penetration you get, you need the broadband adoption at the consumer end. You can get 2.5% increase in GDP. That's one piece. And you're delivering this content and so on to the point of use. It's also shown that 10 million of data center investment can actually have a 5-10-fold impact on the local economy, either direct or induced reasons. You've got expensive, architects, professionals, engineers, electrical people building the buildings and everything that you need. When you operate the data centers, you have an entire value chain that supports the data center, as well as being able to deliver content effectively locally. So you can now imagine the billions of dollars of just putting impact, induced or direct, on the local economy. So if you look at this sort of 70 or so megawatts that we've got coming in over the next 2 years or so, the impact on the Lagos state economy is going to be significant. We also intend to have what we call smaller edge data centers elsewhere in Nigeria, in, say, Abuja, Port Harcourt, for instance, because with the national interconnectivity, we can further get the efficiency of the content out there to the point of consumption. We've built the first real-scale data center in Kinshasa that went live September last year with the interconnect ecosystem that comes. We've transformed the digital environment in that city. So with these investments that we see coming in with data center infrastructure, and actually I would call it, converged digital infrastructure of connectivity and data centers, the transformative effects are significant indeed for the economy here.
Yeah, definitely quite a lot to look forward to. Definitely keeping an eye, definitely to engage as this development will need to unfold. But thank you so much for your time on the show today. I've been speaking with the CEO of Open Access Data Centers, Ayotunde Coker.